CEOs are spending $60,000, $150,000, and sometimes $500,000 annually on PR. And still they're struggling to be known, trusted, and credible in their industry. And when you ask yourself why, what's the reason behind that? In a very simple way, because their PR campaigns from the beginning are broken. Why? Because they lack the strategy. Hello, my name is Ahmed Khaled, and I am the founder and CEO of Unleash Group for personal branding and PR. We turn 7 and 8 figures CEOs and entrepreneurs into iconic figures in their industry. And today I'm going to share with you, and I'll break down for you, the 4 main reasons behind the failure for PR campaigns with CEOs. And I'm going to reveal with you the pains behind it. Stay with me. Let's start with the first reason behind the failure for PR campaigns. Number 1 is the disconnection between PR and personal branding. And when I speak here about disconnection, there is no connection between both at all. Let me start firstly. PR, which is public relations, build always perception about you as a CEO. But personal branding is building your positioning. And when I speak here about positioning in like a nutshell, what do I mean here by positioning? Your brand message, your brand story, your brand objective, your brand targeting. And when you start firstly by identifying the brand message, brand story, brand objective, and brand targeting, then you can go to another level of amplifications. And what's happening here, if you don't have a clear strategy about your positioning, what will happen is if you use the PR with no clear objective, what will happen is that you will waste your time, your money, and your effort. So what's happening usually, that CEOs are being featured in many placements or podcasts or channels without having a clear strategy. And now they act like a noise. But in order to build and to avoid this disconnection, you have to firstly build the fundamentals and the foundations of your personal brand here. And how can you do this? After identifying your brand message, story, objective, and targeting, then you can start going and connect it with your PR. And when I speak here about the PR, there are some certain factors you need to take it into consideration here, which is 1 is the channel of the PR. This could be podcasts, interviews, events, TV interviews, or maybe even digital publications, right? And the second step that you have to also take it into consideration is the selection of PR. And what do I mean here by selection of the PR? You cannot be like a CEO in healthcare and being featured in a placement of fashion. Doesn't make sense at all, right? Because what will happen is you will confuse yourself. And at the same time, the target audience or the audiences in this placement, they will not be relevant to you at all. And this is what happens mainly with most of the PR agencies. They don't use the right placements with the right CEO and the right positioning that they want. And that's why they're mainly burning their money. And the third factor that you need to take into consideration, which is messaging of the PR itself. And what usually happened, that you will find the PR companies or agencies, they come and they approach you in that way. And what they do, they will say that we will feature you in Forbes, Bloomberg, Success, Entrepreneur, all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, what is the aim from this? And they try to convince you that you'll be famous. But the question that you need to ask yourself is, what you will be famous for? Because if you don't have a clear messaging here, then you will act like a noise. And it's the same like you are in Times Square and you start to scream loudly everywhere and people start to look at you. Yes, you will get attention. But the question that you need to ask yourself, does anybody care about this? And this is the perception between personal branding and PR. You have to be very well known for something. And in order to fix this, you have to firstly build your personal brand and positioning and use the PR, whether it's channel, whether it's messaging, whether it's the selection of it, to amplify your personal brand in that way. So, first thing you need to do, and to fix it, build your personal brand, understand your positioning, and then use the PR to amplify and get to another level. The second reason of the failure for PRs with CEOs is vanity metrics over business impact. And when I speak here about vanity metrics, what's happening? Most CEOs, they were very happy when it comes to being featured. I got featured in Forbes, I got featured in Bloomberg, I got featured in great publications. They go and speak about that. But let me ask you that question, and you have to be very clear answering that question. What is the business impact after getting featured in these publications? Do you have any KPIs that can track it? Do you have any kind of leads? Do you have any kind of reputation leveraging? Do you have anything like that? Do you take your leads that are coming from the traffic of these publications and feeding them into your funnels? Do you have anything like that? Or you just going and speaking from an egoistic place, showing that I am featured here or there, but you have already paid money. You need to ask yourself, what is the ROI on these placements? And this is what's happening, definitely. You have to ask yourself, do you need to take this publication in order to build lead generation and feed them into your funnel? Or maybe you are doing this because of reputation enhancement. Or maybe you are trying to engaging your cold audiences in your network and turn them into hot audiences so you can leverage this in your business. So you shouldn't be very happy when it comes to the vanity metrics. I got featured in a great famous publications. But if your message and if your objective is not clear and is not connected to business impact, then what I'm telling you, what's happening, you are burning your money away. You're getting some gasoline and just firing it up every day and every way. Spending $20,000, $30,000, and what is that for? So you have to think in a different way. It's not about the vanity metrics, it's all about the business impact that you need to take it into consideration. That's why like 96% of CEOs and executives, when it comes to measuring the ROI for their PR campaigns, they don't have any metrics because they were thinking too much about the vanity metrics. I got featured, I'm so happy on that. But you have to understand, is it connected with the money or the revenue for your business impact, or do you don't have any connection between these metrics and your business impact? So in a very nutshell, you're not buying a media feature. You are buying leverage. You are buying perception. And if you don't use your media feature with the right strategy, then I'm telling you from now on, you are burning your money out every day. So before going into any PR, you have to ask yourself that question. What are the business impact and the KPIs that I need to measure in order to see if this campaign is successful or not? The third reason for the PR campaign failure is mainly because no content ecosystem to repurpose mainly the PR system. And let me tell you and simulate with you what's happening. So the CEO got featured in a great press or a great article, in a great publication. He has messaging and he has here CTA or objective. And what happens here after publication happened in a certain date, the CEO start to wait 24 hours And then what happened? Start to wait more. Wait, wait, wait. And nothing happens when it comes to their objective. Maybe they are looking for lead generation. Maybe they are looking for pushing some people into their funnel. And this is not happening. And they keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. There is nothing happened at all. And they start to be frustrated because they think that their money is burned. But usually this is not happening in the right manner, because yeah, it's great definitely to have app applications, but if you don't have a strategy in your content, in your social media, especially on LinkedIn, to repurpose your PR, then it's a waste of money. Why I'm saying this? Yes, once it's published, you can publish it one time. But I'm telling you, you should have like a repurposing strategy that you can use this piece of PR, you can repurpose it like 50, 60 times. But the question now that you will ask yourself, how can I do this? Through your social media, and mainly through LinkedIn. How can you do this? In a very simple way. This is what we're always doing. So you have a PR in a great publication here, right? And you have the URL. You have the domain here. What's happening? We used one of a great technique, which is storytelling posts from different angles. Maybe we can use this piece of PR that got published here like 30 times. 30 times from different angles of stories. And what we do usually, we give a call to action inside that post that drive people here into the PR that they have it at the beginning. And one of the biggest mistakes that most CEOs think about it, when they have this PR momentum like one time and they post it one time and they think that all people in their network, they will know about this PR. And it doesn't happen like this. Because there are many factors behind this, especially on LinkedIn. The algorithm will not push your content to all your network at all. If it goes to 5 to 10% of your network, then it's amazing. So what you need to do is to understand is how to repurpose that content from a different angle to not bore people, from a different storytelling, and then give them call to action. So as many people you get them like cold audiences, they are not in your network, you need to push them into a hot audiences and build perception about your business or the messaging that you want to have. So you push them from your funnel, from cold audiences into hot audiences, so they want to make a business with you. So if you think as a CEO, if you have a great objective and if you have a great messaging and if you have a great call to action, don't think that from the first publication it will drive traffic and your campaign will be successful. No, you have to have like a repurpose plan, content strategy, storytelling, posts, call to action, driving people in your network and take them into and push them into hot audiences so they want to make a business with you. Fixing that is by repurposing content strategy. The fourth failure of the PR campaign with CEOs is mainly CEOs don't own their narratives. In a very simple way, what's happening? You are the CEO here, and you have the PR company here. What happens that because of the ignorance of the CEOs, they don't know what's happening on the back end, they build a quick trust with the PR company because they position themselves as a trustworthy one. And then what happens? The CEO doesn't own the narrative itself. What they do the messaging, story, and the objective according to what they see, not what the CEO sees. And when you do something like that, what happens? Authenticity. Just wait, sorry for that. Authenticity got diluted. And what I mean here that, especially if you're a CEO and you have great people in your network, and if you have some publications that they speak, or publications here for PR, they don't speak your story and your tone of voice of the brand, what will happen is trust will be broken. If you're trying to be someone who's not you, then I'm telling you what's happening. The trust between your network and especially the warm people that they know you and maybe they want to make a business with you and they see the inflation in the PR that it's not your voice, what's happening? They'll start mock at you and they will never ever think about doing business with you. So authenticity always make you memorable. And you have to own your narrative. Whether you're working with a PR company or agency, you have to own your narrative. So you have to have a depth of understanding. You have to have a depth of your narration. You have to have a depth of storytelling and making your story authentic and creating some real emotions around your business in the right way. So it's not about having publications, not at all. It's all about owning your narrative and having the right tone of voice and the right story, that it's real story, that it's authentic story that connects with your target audiences and make and radiate authenticity. So in a very simple way, if you are not controlling your narrative, the PR company will control your narrative and then your reputation will be damaged. So the moment that you start working in your PR, build your personal brand, and then what you can do, you can own your narrative. You have to think, not just trust anybody like blindly. No, you have to think in the right way and ask and build that momentum in the right way. At the end, I want to re-emphasize on something. PR comes last, but personal branding comes first. If you don't build the right foundation of your brand from the beginning, then PR will be acting like a noise. Firstly, you have to build that connection between your brand voice, brand message, the objective, and your story. And where do you want to go, and integrate all of those personal branding towards your PR and integrate it with your sales strategy. And if you don't do this, then I'm telling you, you will be always burning your money with the PR agencies without any objective. So I want you to remember always, one is connecting your personal brand with your PR strategy. This is the first thing that you need to do. The second thing, that when you are going to PR and you're spending money, always think about the business impact and not the vanity metrics. It's not about being featured, but it's all about being featured for what? You have to understand this. It's not about a fancy publications. It's all about the objective that you want to go for. And the third thing, don't expect that one publication will make you famous or will drive traffic. That's why the ecosystem of the content and your repurposing strategy to your PR is essential. Because if you don't do it multiple of times, you are losing too much money on the table. You're trying to push people from a cold audiences into hot audiences that they want to make a business with you. And last one, don't give your narrative to the PR agency. Own your narrative as a CEO. Own your story. Own your messaging. Go and build your authenticity, because once you build that connection, people will want to make a business with you. And if you are a CEO who wants to own the narrative and build a powerful and unforgettable personal brand and power, and you want to be perceived as an icon in your industry, then you are in a safe hand. We can help you through our agency. We turn 8 and 7 figures CEOs and entrepreneurs into iconic figures in their industry. What you can do is to book a call with one of my lead advisors here and see how can we help you and help you building your personal brand and take you to the next level.